Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country. Today we have the extremely talented Chapel Hart, and if you don't know, they did get the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent, which you have to watch because it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So make sure you welcome Danica, Devynn, and Trea. Yay! Perfect. So before we go any further, I know most people probably know who you are already, but give yourself a bit of an introduction. Who is Chapel Hart?
So Chapel Hart is a family band. Danica and Devynn are sisters, and I am their first cousin. We are originally from Poplarville, Mississippi, but we got our start musically in New Orleans, and now we're kind of based between there and Nashville. And like you said, I think the rest of the world found out about us on AGT after our audition that almost never happened. And then it's kind of just nonstop from there.
How did it never happen? Oh my God, tell me about this.
So, a funny story is that, we had somebody reach out and they were like, we need you. Like, she was like, why have you all not auditioned for America's Got Talent? She was like, y'all are so talented. I love your music. It's so uplifting. It's so empowering. She said, the world needs to hear it. She said, you tell me y'all are going to audition. And we were like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, we're busy, like we're touring and all the things. And I said, thankfully, she was like a pit bull because she would not, like, she like grass and would not let it go. And she was just like, please, she was like, your music is amazing. She was like, the world needs to hear this. And so there's that phrase that says, tell the Lord your plans and like watch him laugh. And so we were like, thank you so much, but no thank you. And it just so happened we were supposed to be going out on tour with the Indigo Girls for a week, and somebody got sick on their team. And so just so happened that week we was open, and we were like, oh, we see what you're doing here. So we ended up actually accepting the invite to go audition. And so it was just such a God thing, like, because we were
meant to happen.
It was supposed to happen. And even when we got there, we just thought we were gonna like go there, stand in line, and people would be like, yep or nope, like,
Not at all, like you see on TV.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was like a 3-day process in total, and it was a lot of just kind of waiting around and sitting and waiting and more waiting. And then finally we were like, when it was time for us to audition, I think we were one of the very last
we were like
on the last
audition for the season on the last day.
So everybody was ready to go home.
Yeah.
Production, anybody like working on the show had been doing audition for weeks. So they were like, there's no golden buzzers, just try to do your best to get 3 yeses. Now go. And they kind of like pushed us out there. And so but everything about it was just like, so like we had no clue what we were doing. And we were originally supposed to sing 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. And You Can Have Him Jolene was our backup song. And right before we were getting, probably 30 minutes before we were going out, the music director of the show said, let me hear that original song one more time. And she said, I want you to do it. And I want you to do it. And I want you to like do it like you're out there on the stage. I want you to do it full out. Let's see. And we did it. And once we did it, it was so quiet. And she's like, it was like one of those like moments. And she said, this is the one. She said, you got to do it. She said, at the very minimum, you can say you bet it on yourself. She said, but this is the song. And she's like, this is so it. And we were like, okay. So that's the one we went with, and the rest is history, I always say.
Awesome. That is awesome. I am so glad, not that the Indigos got sick, but I'm so glad that space come open for you guys to do it, because it was amazing. And I tell you, I have never cried at real life TV before, so it's still every now and then.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. And I love that. I love that you say that, or that you shared that, because people often will ask us like, is that real, or is that fake? I was like, there is absolutely no way you could fake the like
Emotion.
the all the emotion, like, you know, and I think you could see the moment that like we were just like validated. We were like, oh, like people get it. People like we don't have to be anybody else. We don't gotta change this lyric, do this lyric. People loved us just the way we were. And like I feel like it finally felt like that. And every bit of that when you watch that emotion was there, if not like times 10. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I understand how it felt for me just watching it, and I could see the emotion, and it brought me to this whole new level. Where for you guys, it must have been, God knows, I would not have coped. I probably would have had a heart attack on stage, just like
It was
close.
it was so surreal because it was in that moment. Like, first of all, when you're doing stuff for TV, it's never quite the way you see it at home. So
Yeah.
like that 5 minutes was a 3-day process.
Yeah.
But once we were on the stage, when we finished singing, it was kind of quiet. And after a while, like Terry Crews left the stage, and if you watch the video, I kind of like lean over and whisper something to Danica, and I mean, like we didn't know what was going on, so I thought that maybe we should just leave.
So like as everybody's all the judges are gathering, we were like, we never seen this
happening?
before. Like, so we thought, and TV, they'll tell you like, hold on, do that again, run that back. So we didn't know if that was one of those moments. Tree said, should we leave? And I was like, well, maybe not just yet. So I always tell people, imagine if we got the golden buzzer and we weren't there to get it.
That'd be hilarious. The buzzer goes off. Oh my God.
Standing there confused. It was like a split second and slow motion all at once.
And I think already kind of like trying to process that Simon was nice to us and he was genuinely like, where are you girls been? Like, what? Like, I love you. And we're like, huh? So if you imagine the emotional roller coaster we were on, it was.
Yeah, he's very blunt, isn't he, Simon? He's very to the point. If he doesn't like you, you will know. But he's good at what he does. So he knows talent. So if he knows you're good and he says you're good, you know damn well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that must have been, I tell you, it's amazing. Just as I said, watching that, I don't know if I could watch it again. Actually, I think every time I just think about it, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, you girls deserve everything you get because you're
thank
just
you
amazing.
so much.
Absolutely amazing.
Look, I tell people all the time, we bust our butts. So we're hoping that it's leaving some good in the world, we're leaving our heart and soul, in a lot of places and with a lot of people. So
that's good.
Yeah,
it's good. It's amazing. So you did a Christmas album, which was awesome, I have to say. Very, very cool.
We're gonna talk about Christmas.
And I think they actually played some of your Christmas songs on our radio station, which was very cool because obviously, we love you guys. But I want to know, what was it like to do the duets? I mean, you got to meet Vince Gill, Darius Rucker, Gretchen Wilson, Rizzy Palmer. I can name more. Tell me about that.
Whenever we first started working on the album, like we said, we wanted it to feel like coming home for Christmas. And we're 3 of 108 grandkids. So you can only imagine the crazy Christmas chaos that happens.
I can imagine.
And so we kind of like started making a dream list of collaborations for our Christmas album, and I don't even think we could have imagined that some of the people that would be on it. And I think the first person you reached out to was Vince, wasn't it?
And for especially for us, Vince is like one of the more famous and popular.
He's my dad's favorite child.
Yes. And so we were just like, we were unsure if he would say yes. And I don't really know why we were unsure, because he always is like checking on us and like, how you girls doing? Like, what y'all doing out there? Y'all traveling, y'all. And, and he always ends the phone call with, look, what if you need anything, let me know. And so I don't know why I was so nervous that he would say no. But when we asked him, I was like, hey, Vinny, it's Chapel Hart. Will you sing on our Christmas record? He was like, absolutely. So like we all scream in the background. And as artists, we'll say yes, but sometimes we get busy in between schedules and when you can have time. Sometimes it may take 4 or 5 months to like
Slow
actually
down.
slow
Get it
down to do
done.
it. But he was the first yes and the first person to turn it in.
Oh, wow.
And he was excited about doing the collaboration, and you could tell in the song, and he was just like, I wanted to take a different, like kind of put a little different spin on it. And he was like, so if you don't like it, let me know. I'll redo it. And I was like, what?
We love it.
It was just like it was the coolest thing.
And the first time we heard him come in on Silver Bell, I think we just squealed so
did.
loud.
Literally, he didn't even say busy sidewalks good. We were like, so it was just, but it was so cool. And to get a yes from like Jason Crabb, like Jason's voice is amazing. And to get a yes from Gretchen Wilson,
Gretchen
who
Wilson.
The redneck woman.
she heard Heartfelt Family Christmas and she was like, oh, this is my crazy family.
Yes.
She was like, I must. So it was kind of having that like that connection to craziness that like I feel like a lot of times, or I feel like when you hear Heartfelt Family Christmas, it almost doesn't really feel like a Christmas song. It feels kind of like a
party song almost.
and so, but when Gretchen heard it, she instantly got it. She was like, let's go. And so, but every person that said yes, the Isaacs, I was like,
now
Christmas Day, it turned out to be one of our most streamed Christmas songs. And I was like, but it just speaks to how cool the song is to have 6-part harmony. Singing
it
this
feels like a choir of hillbilly angels singing Christmas carols. I love
Hillbilly Angels, I love that. That is very cool.
I was gonna say the entire album just felt like a full circle moment, but from the artists to us talking about and our fans talking about us doing a Christmas album for the last few years.
And from Danica talking about us doing a Christmas album since before we were a band.
Yes, Danica is our personal Mrs. Claus.
Oh,
and so awesome. Christmas
is year round.
24/7. I love it.
Yes.
That is awesome. No, that was an amazing album. Absolutely amazing. Totally loved it. Very cool. So 2024, wrap it up in a few words.
That was a great word.
We traveled all over the world. We got to write music. We got to put out one of our a body of work that we've been waiting to do forever.
We did 6 countries last year.
We played in 6 countries last year.
24 was wild.
So when she said it was it was such a year of like newness, but also like full circle, like even like in doing the album, it was just like we met Jason Crabb at the Grand Ole Opry one night, and it just felt like he was our brother. Like it just was like he was from our same crazy family, and we talk music and family and like and connection and church, and it was just so cool that it all came back around for the end of the year that he was on our Christmas list. And the year before that, T. Graham Brown sent me a birthday message, and I was like, then to have him back on to have him part of the Christmas album as part of our Heartfelt Family Christmas craziness. It was just 2024 was a full circle year with new and exciting adventures. And like I said,
this was another full circle moment. Like Reese was on our album as well, and Reese was the first person to bring us over to the UK. And this year we went back twice. And oh my goodness, digging our UK roots even deeper as we keep on going around.
So I guess if we could round up the title, like if 2024 had to be a song, it would be like, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Because it was just like circle after circle after circle after circle.
So where was your favorite place to play? What country?
Ooh, I love Switzerland.
Switzerland
was so good.
7 countries. Wow. I didn't count that one.
Forgot Switzerland, did you?
I really enjoyed Japan.
Japan was now
top of my list for last year.
Oh, I might have to say Guam.
Guam was good.
Surprised me. And
So there you got
it was
three
amazing.
different three
Three
countries.
different. Oh, that's it. We need to bring the UK into this. So we need to. If you want to go anywhere, you want real country places, go to Scotland. I don't know.
Oh, we did. Scotland was one of them.
This year we did our
Scotland love their
first
country music.
we did our first solo shows in the UK, and we did
Yep.
one in England and one in Scotland, and didn't realize that they have the old churches and cathedrals that are converted to venues, and those were some of the most beautiful places, and we definitely are gonna. I think we should do
We had
shows.
sold out shows as independent artists in England and London and Scotland, and we just were. I couldn't, and it was so funny. I couldn't. It was hard for me to pronounce Glasgow.
Glasgow. Yeah, Glasgow.
And so I properly renamed it G-Town. And I was like,
Yeah, come back to G-Town.
I love it.
Come back
I
for
love
a
it.
chapel in
The
the
next
chapel.
time you're in Scotland, I'm coming over. I love it. And
Yeah,
Scotland,
yeah,
I have to
done
say,
and
I've
done.
seen loads of
Look,
artists in
let us know
Scotland.
when you're coming. We'll make sure we get you set up and all the things. Let us know who you're bringing with you.
Awesome. Every time I've seen anyone in Scotland, they're always the best shows, always, because the Scottish love it. And because the problem is, in the UK and Scotland, we don't get the artist over as much. So when we do come over, we make a party of it. So and the
Yes,
Scottish know
love
how to
that.
party. So yeah, definitely. I will be there next time. I will be there. Front row.
Yes.
We're always telling people now our Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas fans are incredible. There's absolutely nothing like them. But the fans in the UK, y'all show
Different.
up.
Oh yeah.
Y'all show up and show out.
Oh yeah.
It's because we don't get enough of it. We don't, as you said, people come over maybe once every other year or every 3 years. So when they do come over, we make damn sure we party.
That's right.
Perfect. So yeah, next time I will be there. Definitely be there.
Okay, look, we will make sure of it. Okay.
Sounds good to me. So, tell me about your community outreach. What is that all about?
Well, I'm gonna start, and then I'm sure all three of us can have a little bit of I'm sure all
Input.
three of us can throw in a little input. And I think it was last year, a year before last, we sat down kind of towards the end of the year, and we realized we were just kind of like in the rat race of the music business industry. And nobody was asking us to be on labels. Nobody was offering us like any of that, but like we were still just trying to like keep up with who's current, what we're doing. And like we were like losing so much, like we're not losing, but we were like spending so much money that we really didn't have. And we were like killing ourselves. We were so tired because we were everywhere and trying to be everywhere. And and so we made a vow at the end of the year too. We said, what we're gonna do, we're pulling out of the business, like the music industry business, and we're gonna stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're gonna run the race that Chapel Hart can run.
Yeah.
Like if we can be there, we'll be there. But and if we can be there, maybe we have on a $50 dress and not a $5,000 dress. And we said we're gonna do what we can do, but also we're gonna get back to why we started doing music. We started doing music so we could bring music to the people who couldn't come out and get it. So we could go to nursing homes, so we could go to schools, and we could go to military. We could go visit the VA or go play for the troops. Like bring music to people, like people like that. That was part of the reason that we started it, and we were doing none of that. And so we decided to make a vow to start giving back to the community and back to our military and back to their families, and and just really try to start putting some encouragement back into the world, like just positivity, uplift people. And so so then I'll let them
And
kind
I
of
was
talk
gonna
about some of the
say,
things we're doing.
And we came from a military family. A lot of our aunts and uncles are in military or were in
Mamas
military.
and daddies.
Yes. And so when the opportunity came for us to partner with Armed Forces Entertainment to kind of go overseas and bring live music to the troops and their families, we absolutely had to jump on that because it was an absolute honor for us. And this year we're excited to be going back, and I think we're going to a few different places this time, a couple
Yeah.
different bases.
We're doing
So
more.
we are looking forward to it.
Sounds awesome.
And I had to, and one of my things that I absolutely love is whenever we're on the road, whenever we get a chance, like, you know, sometimes you're going from one side of the country to the other. And the days in between, the travel days, those are the golden days because we get to stop at schools and we get to go in and like talk to kids. I remember we were talking to this school in Arizona. It was about 3,000 high school students. And you know, high schoolers, they're way too cool for anything. They don't really like anything. But being able to go out there and talk to them, and then we were singing the song, and every time they, like it said, like, are the stadium crowd singing loud, you know, they were cheering along. And like knowing that, you know, the kids, they see us out here following their dreams. And you know, who would have imagined that, you know, 3 girls from South Mississippi would be out here doing it, but being able to just spread that encouragement to the next generation really means the world to us.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, I must admit, I come from a military family. My dad's army, my brother's army, my granddad, my uncle. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Same.
They
Look, so
need
you
that.
understand. You understand.
They need that encouragement and they need that. So that is awesome. That is just amazing. You guys are just amazing. See, you are awesome. We love you so much. So tell us, new year, what does 2025 hold for you guys?
Ooh, well, now that the year has kicked off, well, we kicked off the year at the Rose Parade.
Yep.
The state of Mississippi had their very first float in the parade and had y'all's truly, represented the state.
Yeah.
And we are getting ready to release our first single of the year, right in time for the season of love, Perfect for Me. And it's going to be coming out on Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
Y'all love.
Just floating around here.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And yeah, and so we're just, and I always tell people, we're always writing new music. We're always trying to figure out, like, what do we want to say next in the world? Like, you know, are we doing albums? Are we doing singles? Are we doing like, so we've got a lot of things we've already jumped into the year, but you know, there's a lot to look forward to. But I think mostly this year our focus is going and really just being able to bring a little bit of home to the troops, and you know, doing our military shows, and they're just so fun, and it's so exciting to watch. A lot of the servicemen and women be able to grab their families, and for one night they get to just like cut up and dance together and sing together, and you know, you get to hear these familiar songs from home. So we're really putting our focus on that this year.
Awesome. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I love having you guys.
For having us back.
Thank you so much. So you heard it all from Chapel Hart. Make sure you check out the new music when it comes out. Also, check out the 20 crazy questions, because they are going to be a blast knowing these 3. So see you later, folks. Bye. I'm not very good at this. Can you tell? Stop.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.